everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. Today I actually pulled out a kit that I haven't worked with in a while. This is an old kit that I had combined. It was a Gossamer blue kit and I believe a Hip Kit Club kit that I had combined to make kind of like a larger kit. And I'm using it to make a 12 by 12 layout today. So I have these smaller photos of us at the park, of Kaylin and I at the park, and I decided to go ahead and cut them apart from how I printed them and go ahead and make a bit of a film strip. So there's only 3 photos, but I'm just kind of creating a white border around the whole thing and making it kind of a consistent looking film strip. But the way I do that is just to adhere the back with washi tape, and then I just kind of trim the sides down to be fairly even, and if they don't work completely, you just then trim it once you glue it together or tape it together, and it's really the easiest way to make the borders exactly the same. Thought about leaving a white border at the top and a white border at the bottom, but like a larger white border, but I decided to go ahead and trim those out and just complete the film strip the way it is, to where all the borders are the same. So when I laid it down at an angle, and that's exactly how I continue to work with this layout. So I like these paper airplanes in the background, but I felt like there needed to be something else. So I'm going to use my scallop scissors here, and these are just from Bison. Because these are probably just some like the cheapest ones you could possibly get at Walmart or something like that. But my sister gave them to me a couple years ago because she wasn't using them. And yes, I'm like fighting with it here, but I will get it eventually. And I'm going to use that as a border on the left side of the paper. I'm also using one of the other papers from the kit and actually cutting a smaller strip. And to adhere these, I'm just using my Tombow Mono multi-liquid adhesive, but I had to like cut a little bit more, not cut a little bit, but take a little bit more off of it because I put too much. You really just need a tiny little bit, and I got smarter this time. I would just put it on small sections of the paper and then actually adhere it down, and that actually works so much better. It gave me a little bit of a grounding point to the left side of this paper without necessarily covering up the paper airplanes. So I thought by covering up the airplanes it would look weird because it's almost like the airplanes make it look like it's flying in a sense. I know this is like totally not literal, but by putting something like a grounding element at the bottom, it made me feel like it was weird, like it was counteracting the airplanes. So I put it at the side instead. So it probably makes no sense to anybody but my own particular brain, but it made sense to me and I like the way that it turned out, so we're going to go with it. I am also using some of these washi strips to kind of create some layers to the left side of this, of my little photo cluster. But I didn't like the way that those washi tape were going to look against the actual background paper, so I'm just backing them on a little bit of white paper. And I actually just end up using the back of single-sided pattern papers if I don't like the other side. That way I'm still utilizing the paper. I'm not wasting anything, but I'm not necessarily using a pattern I don't like either. As you can see, it's on the back side. So I really like the way that those two really thick washi tapes look layered under my photo. I'll have to remember to do that other times as well because I really like the way that that looks. There was also this yellow star washi that I did the same thing with. I just layered it on a bit of that white paper, because the back side of that pattern paper, and then put that in the bottom right corner, and that brought a bit of yellow down here to the right. Now I'm going to play around with these numbers for a moment because I had this genius idea to do a 1, 2, 3 like a sequence kind of thing, and it actually looks okay here. But I don't like the way it actually looks when I actually do it on the layout. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I had a 1 and a 2, and I was looking for a 3. But I don't have a 3 in the white, so then I wasn't going to be able to do the white, but I like the white the best, and so on and so forth. So it takes me a moment to kind of like get over this idea, and I tried different colors. I tried it in black. Don't like the way that the black looks. I mean, it looks okay. It could have worked, but don't like the way that the black looks. I had thought about putting it on the labels. I take the labels out. So on and so forth. It took me really kind of a bit of fussing to come up to the point to where I actually take off the numbers. I leave the labels there because I like the fact that it brings a little bit more interest to the right side of those photos, but I do take the numbers off. So if you're looking at the photos, and you may be able to see them in the close-ups at the end, it's Kaylin coming down this slide thing, and I don't know if you guys see these in the playgrounds around you, but it's like 2 parallel bars that come down, and you're supposed to hook your legs over each side and slide down. Well, Kalen has always wanted to go down this slide like this, but he's never had legs long enough to be able to. He would just kind of like fall between. But now at this point in time, when these photos were taken, he was just tall enough and he could get his legs hooked around the side and he could sit up and slide down without even having to use his arms. So it was like perfect height for it. So I've titling this layout Relax and Enjoy, because it's really kind of about enjoying his time. He's got his hat on backwards, got a jacket on, got a sweatpants on, and just kind of enjoying the day. These photos were actually taken in November of 2016, so it's kind of a chilly day. But it's a beautiful day. As you can see, a really bright blue sky. I think the blue looks really nice contrasting to the background, this green background, this lime green background. My last layout, the Three Bears Acres one, I make a comment about not using green a whole lot, and then in this layout I use like this bright green background. So I suppose I put, I think I do certain things, and then when I actually do something completely different right behind it. So I thought I don't really use a lot of green, and then I do this layout, which is primarily green. So anyways, that's the great thing about scrapbooking. You do whatever you want to do, and you can change your mind at any point in time. There's no rules. They're your rules. There's no other rules. Kind of went a little crazy with the chipboard pieces and the stickers, and as this layout develops, it keeps getting crazier and crazier. But this particular kit had a planner kit in it. So there's a lot of really itty bitty tiny elements. So I've got word stickers down here at the bottom, one that says break time and one that says yes. I've got chipboard circles that have fun and a star and yay. I've got little enamel dots that are kind of that bright red orange looking color. I can't get it out, but it matches those washi strips. I've got my little labels here. Also, I'm using the very top of this journaling card. So I love the journaling cards that I had put in this kit, but I really haven't used them very much. So there was one that said today was, and you feeling awesome about us, forgettable, or the best day ever. And so I just put in the one that said awesome with one of the little yellow stars. And then I did a little bit of journaling under the today was, and that's the only journaling on this whole layout. It says Kalen figured out how to work the new slide on his own, all on his own. I didn't help him. He figured it out, which I think is another thing that's really kind of a big deal, because a lot of the time he gets a little nervous or cautious and wants me to help him. Well, this is one of those things he figured out on his own, so I was really proud of him. Also, because there's a planner kit included, there are some weather icons. So I've got that sun up there to the top left with the fun and the star icon, or chipboard circles up here at the top left. Just kind of looking, trying to decide if I want to do anything else. I am going to pull out a few of these little puffy stickers, just a heart, and then a few other little bits, one that says shine down here at the bottom left, and I'll do a little yellow star there as well. And then I am going to put a stamped heart right here on my little journaling spot, and then that's pretty much going to be the end of this layout. It's fairly simple, but there are a lot of tiny little embellishments all around, so make sure you look at the still shots at the end to be able to see that. And then I finally take off those numbers and just give it up. Like, I'm just not going to use the numbers. I'm just going to leave it as is. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Alright guys, bye!